And welcome back, everyone. My name's Tyler Boronski. You're watching my YouTube channel where I interview professional athletes and celebrities. Today I'm with baseball YouTuber and the greatest ball hawk alive, one of my personal favorite YouTubers as well, Zack Hample. Zach, thanks for taking the time to do this interview, and how you doing, bro?
I'm doing great. You said you interview professional athletes and celebrities. Well, I'm definitely not an athlete, so that's kind of cool to be considered in the other categories. So I don't know if I'm worthy of that, but I'll take it.
All right, Zach, I want to ask you, obviously, you're the GOAT when it comes to ball hawking. You reached 10,000 baseballs last year in Baltimore. So it seems like what other records are there for you to break this year? So for 2018, it's coming up. I think opening day is next Thursday, which is very soon. What are some of your goals for this season? Is it more related to, I guess, like the quality of baseballs you get this year over maybe quantity so much?
Yeah, definitely. One of my goals for a while has been to catch a game home run during each month of the season. I've never done that, but the season starts on March 29th this year. So do I have like 3 days to, I don't know. But I don't think I'm even going to go to a game. I don't know. So that probably won't happen. But just maybe getting half a dozen game home run balls this year would be cool. And then there's a lot of teams using commemorative balls. So I'm hoping to get those. And I'll keep my eye on milestone home runs, Pujols, his 3,000th hit, and just other guys approaching home run milestones. So nothing terribly specific. I'm just trying to keep the momentum going with YouTube. I'll probably go to another 100 games this year. Really looking forward to the games in Monterrey, Mexico, because that'll be my 54th different Major League Stadium. So that's kind of where I am with it.
Yeah, you spoke about the momentum from YouTube. I mean, you've grown so much recently using YouTube as a platform. How have you seen YouTube, I guess, build your brand? Because I know you did the blog entries before. I'm sure you've had maybe people recognize you before, before doing YouTube. But how have you seen making these videos, making content for YouTube really increase your brand in the last, I guess, year?
It's been crazy. Prior to YouTube and really prior to the A-Rod ball that I got in 2015, there were a few people every day that might recognize me at a stadium. And then the A-Rod thing happened, and that was just it made things crazy for, I mean, weeks after that. And now things are always that crazy because of YouTube. So it's really taken me to another level that I never thought was possible. And sometimes it's a little bit scary, and sometimes it can make things difficult. Like, it's actually hard for me to film videos when I have people approaching me nonstop and they're waiting to take a selfie, and then other people sort of gather around and I'm trying to talk about something that's really timely. The players are jogging off the field at the end of BP and I have someone yelling at me. It's tough. It's actually a challenge, but it's a fun challenge. And just really kind of humbled by it all, because really what I do in the grand scheme of things, it's not that important or that impressive, I guess, but I've found this weird niche in the baseball world that a lot of people seem to appreciate. So, I guess I just like to bring people along for my crazy journey through baseball and help people connect more to the sport. And if I can raise some money for charity in the process, I gotta plug pitch in for baseball here on my shirt. So people should check them out as well. But yeah, it's kind of crazy how far things have come, just because I started off as just a little kid wanting to catch a ball, and how did I end up here? It's really strange, but I love it for sure.
Yeah, for sure. I love it as well. And you mentioned pitching for baseball. We'll definitely plug that in the description and maybe get to it a little bit later. But since you've gained so much popularity on YouTube, um, I noticed sometimes in your videos the players recognize you, from your videos. Have you noticed, having players recognize you, has that helped you with getting more baseball, or has that hurt your chances? What have you, I guess, noticed from that situation?
I think it probably evens out because some players don't want to throw me another ball because it's like, oh, that's the guy that has so many of them. Clayton Kershaw falls into that category. That's me. Although he threw me a few baseballs before he realized who I was, so whatever. But then there are guys who think that it's cool to be able to add to my collection, so they will go out of their way sometimes to throw me a ball, or they'll spot me and be like, "Hey, you're the guy. Here's a ball for you." So, I mean, I think more players than not appreciate what I do, there's some grumpy people out there. And to be fair, the media has not always been that accurate in telling the story. And I haven't done a great job sometimes of keeping things positive. I've said some stupid things, but I think people sometimes get the wrong idea about what I do. So I won't even blame Kershaw for being a little grumpy that one day in Cincinnati last year when he recognized me and was like, "No, you already got enough of them, whatever." I still like him. I still root for him, but um, I don't think that really affects the numbers too much, whether or not the players recognize me. That's just sort of like a fun little bonus that comes along with it.
Yeah, for sure. And you mentioned earlier, you went to like 100 plus games last year. I know you've probably done it in the past, and that's what you plan on doing this year. Um, why do you plan to go on so many games and like making sure you visit all 30 MLB stadiums? Sometimes I see you maybe come back from a road trip and hey, you're hitting up Yankee Stadium the same night. So I guess why do you feel the need to attend as many games as you do? Not saying that as a negative light.
No, I got you. I just love it, and the baseball season, it's only half the year for the regular season. So it's like I feel like I got to cram in as much baseball fun as I can while it's happening. Yankee Stadium it's kind of a weird place for me now. I used to have a tough time there with security being very strict, and I felt like sometimes they were singling me out. And now it's just the opposite. Everybody there knows me because of the whole A-Rod thing, and they're really cool with me. So I especially enjoy going to Yankee Stadium. Everybody treats me there great, and I just try not to miss that many Yankee games if I can help it. I usually actually book my travel when the Mets are home because City Field has kind of fallen down on my list of places to go to. But I do like going to Yankees, so I try to be home to go to a lot of Yankee games. I'll still probably miss half the Yankee games this year, but that means I'll still probably attend 40 of them, which is a lot for one stadium. So it's going to be crazy this year. The Yankees are so good, and they got all these superstars now, the young guys, the veterans. So I don't know if it's that crowded and that crazy. I might be a little bit more inclined to stay home and skip it. Sell my ticket, maybe make a little money back. But yeah, I think there's a date coming up in May when I'm going to be at Dodger Stadium one night, flying home on a red eye that lands at I don't know, 6 in the morning or 8 in the morning, and then I'll be going to Yankee Stadium that night with huge bags under my eyes. But so it goes.
And it's how the journey is sometimes. It's fun though, it seems like. All right, Zach, final question for you. I mean, we mentioned you're wearing the Pitchin' for Baseball shirt. I've heard you mention, in several of your videos. There you go, right there. You can't notice already. But can you speak about how you first even got involved with Pitchin' for Baseball, how you heard about them, and why it's such a, I guess, important cause for you to share to your audience?
Before the 2009 season, I just had this idea that I wanted to do something with my collection to give something back to charity and ideally the baseball world. And I did some research online. I made a few phone calls, and I just wasn't really connecting with a charity that I felt great about that really understood what I was trying to do. um, I called one charity asking about how can I talk to someone involving like donations, and I tried to explain. They're like, "Oh, if you want a donation from us," and I'm like, "No, no, 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 no." Like some people just didn't really get it. But I found Pitch In for Baseball, and they're not a huge organization, so I feel like my help for them makes more of a difference than if I were doing something for some huge charity that just gets like gazillions of dollars every year. Like, my efforts are play a bigger role in what they do. And I talked to the director of that charity and told him, I want to get people to pledge money for every baseball that I catch over the course of the season. And I want that money to go right to you. And I have this weird hobby, and I sometimes get interviewed about it. And it's a good opportunity for me to spread the word. And he was like, "Yeah, it sounds great. Go for it." And I was like, what do you need from me? And he's like, "Nothing. It's great. Go for it." And he was just such a good guy and easy to work with that I partnered with them, and they've been really cool. And when I got that A-Rod ball in 2015 and I gave it to A-Rod, his 3,000th hit, the Yankees donated $150,000 to this charity in exchange for that ball. And what the charity does, they basically provide baseball and softball equipment to underprivileged kids all over the world. So they're just basically helping kids get out there and play ball, keep them off the streets, give them something positive to do. And that's a very special cause for me.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I love that you do that. I love how you promote it, and yeah, it's great to see. We'll definitely, like I mentioned, put in the description, a link to their website and their social media. But final thing for you, Zach. I mean, I don't really know if I can help you with followers, but if you want to plug your Instagram, your Twitter, your YouTube, where people can find you if they haven't found you already.
I appreciate it. So as long as people can spell my name right, I'm pretty easy to find. Zack Hample. So you can just search me on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. It's all there in case people want to check it out.
Yeah, there you go. Not Z-A-C-H, Z-A-C-K.
No, I'm not Zach. But it's funny because my real name is Zachary and it is Zachary. But I just arbitrarily decided that Zach would be spelled Z-A-C-K. And people are like, well, that's not right. Why do you do that? And it's like, well, think about someone named Richard who shortens their name to Rick, or Jonathan if they go by John. You're just playing with the letters a little bit. Like, I don't know, Theodore, you become Ted. Like, I don't know. Like, I'm Zack. Get over it. Some people do that anyway.
It's your name. It's your name. So.
Thank you for understanding.
And fans, you can follow this YouTube channel by subscribing to the YouTube channel at TBL512, same name on Facebook, then also on Twitter and Instagram at Ty Boronski10. And I just made an announcement the other day that I'm on Book Cameo now, which is a site where fans can book personalized video shoutouts from their favorite talents. So, hey, Zach, maybe I got to get you on that site as well. But they got a lot of good, actors and YouTubers and people like that on there. So I'm on the site now, so you guys can book me as well. So all the plugs right there. Zach, thanks for taking the time to do this interview, and really appreciate it, man.
Absolutely. Great talking.
Hey, you as well.